Reese and Dylan are not experts, and none of their claims can technically be proven. Also, would the NSA please not tap our phones? We talk about some pretty weird shit. This is the Foil Hat Broadcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Foil Hat Broadcast with your hosts,
Dylan
and Reese.
So, this is literally being recorded the day before it goes up.
Yeah, because we're irresponsible.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah,
we're hanging in there.
We got life stuff.
It's been a long week. Sort of. Yeah. It's been a long week of waiting for me, actually. Because I'm just like, all right, we're gonna do the thing.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna do the thing. Wait, nope, can't do the thing.
So now
not today.
It's the day before we're supposed to put this thing out, so all day today is going to be my job.
I was busy.
I understand. I totally understand.
We did.
For once, I was prepared.
No, you were prepared. No, because usually I get like really into it, and I'm like doing the research for like the 2 weeks that we.
I usually binge, like, immediately. Just like a binge, I binge. This was all one night. Yeah,
this was all, I spent 16 and a half hours on 12 pages of stuff from Mothman.
I've got about 3.5 typed up pages.
Oh, by the way, this episode is on Mothman.
Mothman is my favorite cryptid.
Yeah?
Yes. The only one we've talked about on the show so far. I like his wings.
But they're always depicted as bat wings, which makes no sense because he's a moth.
Yes.
Moths don't have bat wings.
So, Mothman is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a
man-sized moth with big old wings and apparently red glowing eyes that may or may not cause temporary blindness.
Big rippling arms.
Big rippling. You could grate cheese on those arms. Rocking! Okay, next it'll be the Mothman picture show. So I guess best place to start with Mothman is to start. Where is Mothman?
Well, there's the very first sighting.
Yeah.
On record, in November 12th of 1966, when 5 men digging a grave near Clendon, West Virginia, saw what looked like a brown human, in quotes. That flew...
An Indian man.
Well, that's what I would think. Well, a brown human, which
they've never seen a foreigner before.
Which doesn't seem like that scary, but this brown human flew from some nearby trees and glided low over their heads. And honestly,
I guess that's terrifying,
saw that, I would freak out.
If I saw that, I would freak out, but I would also laugh my ass off.
Why?
Hovering man just seems funny to me.
Not if he has blood red eyes and is gonna screech and...
Okay, he screeches a lot. He seems very threatening, but I don't think Mothman is that threatening.
No, he seems more of like a messenger.
Of the gods.
Of the gods.
Or aliens.
Or another dimension.
Or something.
Or an escaped mutant from a government facility.
All of these questions and more will be answered tonight on the Foil Hat Broadcast.
No one has any idea what this thing could possibly be.
No one has, and I think my biggest one is that he's like an Omen alien.
Yeah.
Like he knows something we don't.
Why would aliens send omens about bridges in West Virginia? That doesn't...
You make an excellent point.
Because, like, in the grand scheme of things, why wouldn't he be showing up around, I don't know, World War II, World War I? Why is
He was a soldier in the First World War.
Or maybe the Nazis invented him. No, but...
They invent everything, don't they?
I know. But, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. It seems like such small potatoes for essentially what is a god. Like,
I mean, he's an omnipotent creature that may or may not be immortal.
We don't know.
Because he only appears one at a time, so there could be many. Or there could just be one guy, Mothman, who just sort of hovers around the West Virginia region, warning people about various forms of disaster.
So one of the interesting things that I read about was that, what was it, cryptozoologists.
Cryptozoology, yeah.
Okay. They believe that these things are like located to specific regions. Like people in California aren't going to see a
They're
Mothman,
indigenous.
but we might see a Bigfoot. People in Japan
Sasquatch.
aren't going to see a Sasquatch. They're going to see
The Grudge.
the Grudge, or the lady with the ripped up mouth. It's like that is a. I feel bad for you if you see a monster in Japan, because those are the most terrifying. I would rather deal with a Mothman.
They have kaiju. You know, Godzilla.
Yeah.
Mothra.
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
we
they
have
have
Mothra.
Mothra.
I guess we have Mothra too.
Oh yeah, we do have Mothman.
Because
Do we?
Mothman.
Mothman. Oh, we have our own Mothra.
Yeah, he's like the American cousin of Mothra.
Or maybe
They're
the same thing.
Wasn't Mothra like as big as a city though? Like couldn't it like cling to buildings and shit?
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Maybe it's a baby Mothra.
Oh, they lay their eggs in West Virginia,
And then they migrate. To Japan.
To Japan.
To lay waste to Tokyo.
No.
So, yeah.
I just have the Godzilla screech going on in my head.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first major sighting is this 12th of November at the gravesite near, what was it? Clendon?
Well, I wouldn't say that's the first.
It's not the first, but it's the first, like, it's the most notable. Because I have others that predate 1966.
Really?
Yes. I couldn't find a lot, so I don't know how actual these are. But before 1966, which is when this whole thing sort of starts.
In the same area?
New York. Both in New York, actually. In New York airspace in 1961, and then in 1877 at a beach.
You see, I saw the beach one, but I read it was in Idris Elba. What's his name?
Indrid Cold?
Indrid
What was he
Cold.
doing there? What was he doing at the beach in
Freaking
1877?
out teenagers?
But he could fly. I thought it was Mothman.
Well, that's what I read. I mean,
okay.
That's just a thing. There was like two teenagers on a beach in New Jersey, and they were like, "Who's that guy?" It's 2:00 in the morning, and he turns around and he smiles at them, and they're like, "Oh shit, yeah, we gotta go."
I do remember because he creepy smile.
Oh, he's so creepy.
We'll get to him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But just to go over this, I'm just going to go over all the sightings I have very quickly.
Let's do it.
Without too much detail.
Well, I'll give some detail.
But you have some stuff. So if you want to pop in.
Okay.
So there was the ones. There was New York, 1877.
Mm-hmm.
People saw a winged man, stark black against the pale blue sky, moving as though swimming through the air. But he was described as having bat wings, so it could have just been 1800s Batman. 1961. A New York pilot claimed to have seen a pterodactyl or a pterodactyl-like creature. Sorry, every time I see the word pterodactyl, I have to pronounce the P like a jackass.
So he saw
a dinosaur.
Pelican. He saw a pelican.
Okay.
Like that is, or like a crane or a
that high.
stork?
It was the 60s.
I mean, they're not flying like that high, right? They're not like.
I guess it depends on in what part of the journey they were at. I
have a feeling that since he wasn't passing over the land that time forgot, that he didn't see a pterodactyl. I think he saw a pelican and was like, "What in the world is that? I've never been to a beach before."
Golly,
gee whiz!
Oh, like Goofy is flying this plane. But then after that is the first quote Mothman incident in 1966 at Clendon, West Virginia, and then of course we get to Point Pleasant.
Ooh, Point Pleasant.
So Point Pleasant is sort of the hub for this whole thing. The gist of it was 3 days after the first sighting, so this is November 15th now, still 1966. Two couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette, I believe.
Yes.
And they claim to have spotted the creature near the old World War II munitions plant.
So let me just talk about a little bit where Point Pleasant is. It's a very small city.
Little town. Yeah.
Little tiny town. In West Virginia. And it's located
like right on the border between Ohio and West Virginia?
Yeah, it's located at the meeting place of the Ohio. It's right on the border of Ohio and West Virginia. Little teeny tiny town. And That town got really famous, actually, all over the world.
Well, this is why it's famous. The only reason anyone would go to Point Pleasant is because, well, after this, they started, after the weird sort of stopped, and then in, the 70s, people started going, we could just use this as a tourist attraction.
And I think that's what they did again in 2016 with those pictures.
With those pictures, yeah, which is also, I think that's the last one I have on my list.
Okay, so yes, the two couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry.
It was, yes.
Steve and Mary Millette.
Yes, he was described as having red eyes, which is possibly, I've always just assumed it was sort of that reflection, reflective,
any kind of animal.
like any animal would have, like cats and owls especially,
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a reflection into light in the dark. And it was described as a large flying man with 10-foot wingspan.
10-foot wingspan?
Yeah.
It's like LeBron James.
It's like if you slapped LeBron James onto a back of another human being. Yeah, so that was weird. And then in the same night, a contractor named Newell Partridge or Merle Partridge, because he used a different name, I think, for he like for his work press? Or something, for press or whatever. Yeah, he used a different name. So it's either Merle or Newell Partridge.
Okay.
Saw the creature at night. He said that it made his television start going fuzzy, there was a lot of static buildup. He sent off his dog to go. His dog went after it and never came back.
Yeah. Well.
So he blames the Mothman for the loss of his beloved dog.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It occurred the same night as the first sighting at the munitions plant. So that's his haunt. Point Pleasant is Mothman's hometown.
Yep. Maybe mutant from the munitions plant?
That is one of the theories, although I don't quite buy that one.
I don't okay.
It's like the X-Files episode where they find the leech person in the sewers of New York or Chicago or wherever.
If it's a mutant from the munitions plant,
right?
Is it a human that mutated into a Mothman, or a moth that mutated into a Mothman?
It would make sense if it was more of a human, because he still has the human form.
Did they get...
What insanity levels of, weird poison, radiation, gene-altering chemicals could possibly make a moth turn into a humanoid figure?
Maybe it was the Fly type situation.
Jeff Goldblum is the Mothman.
Jeff Goldblum's the Mothman. That'd make a much better movie than the Richard Gere.
I was actually just thinking, Mothman it just feels to me like a very classic, 1950s black and white B-movie horror film.
I could totally
I
picture
want to
that.
see that, right? If I ever made a film,
it would be that?
It would be a black and white, cheesy Mothman movie.
And it'd be so much better than the Mothman prophecies with Richard Gere and Laura Linney.
Sorry, Richard Gere.
Both actors I adore.
Yeah,
I love me some Laura Linney.
They were really...
me some Richard Gere. That was a terrible, terrible movie.
They were really fun.
Based on a very excellent book.
I haven't read, but
I've read the reviews.
Evidently, John Keel is the author and expert on Mothmen in the area. That's his whole shtick.
Well, they brought him there.
Did they?
Like a thing? He was traveling in that general direction, and then all of a sudden he was there, but it was
I thought that was just the movie.
Was that just the movie?
Because the character in the movie wasn't Keel.
It was based on Keel, though.
It was based on the book, but it happened... The movie took place in 2002, and the Silver Bridge incident is 1967.
I don't know. It was a bad movie.
So after Partridge, there was another sighting with two volunteer firemen, and they thought they saw a large bird with red eyes. Could have been the Mothman, but the county sheriff also claimed it could have just been a large heron.
Right, but the bird that they were describing
wasn't indigenous to the region.
Yeah,
they thought it might have been a migratory issue, they just got off course somehow and ended up in Point Pleasant. It's an excuse. It's an excuse.
Yeah, it's an excuse.
Let's see. Connie Carpenter, age 18, claimed to have witnessed the Mothman on the 27th of November, 1966, passing a deserted golf course outside of New Haven, West Virginia. She claimed, though, this is the weird part with her, she claimed that it drew her closer to him using a form of hypnosis with his eyes.
She a liar. I don't believe her.
But this was noted by Keel. Keel noted this event.
But okay. So here's
he is
what
to
I
be trusted.
I it's not that I don't think that Keel is not to be trusted. It's that I think that this drove him totally out of his mind.
The Mothman drove him insane. The Mothman is slowly becoming Slender Man.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think that, with the whole situation, that he went through, because that was a very intense, what was it, a couple of weeks?
Okay, yeah. Sorry, go on. I just saw, I'm reading my notes and I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. Go ahead.
That I think that, he'll believe anything anyone says. Because he knows how freaky it is.
Yeah.
That, he'll just take it at face value.
What's that called? It's like positive, like you get blinded by success to the point where you end up constantly believing that you're on the right track and that everything is real because you want to. Delusional. There's another word for it. I can't remember.
I don't know.
But with Connie Carpenter, another thing that she said she noticed when she saw the Mothman fly, its wings didn't beat like a normal moth, but it just sort of hovered up like a helicopter.
Okay. Is another big problem with that.
Yeah.
From a biological standpoint, I don't care where it came from.
Okay.
Well, I don't care where it came from. If it's not flapping its damn wings, it doesn't need wings and would not have wings. It would just float. It would just hover.
You're so upset about this.
Because I think that's ridiculous.
So upset about this.
Because, okay. I know that this seems ridiculous, the Mothman thing in general, but it's a very interesting subject.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have claimed to see it, and some of their stories are actually pretty believable because they have evidence. Yeah. They have proof of weird happenings.
It's mostly witness stuff.
This woman is just like, he just floated. Well, why does he have wings then? That doesn't make any sense, from a biological standpoint.
She didn't think that through, no.
No, she didn't think it through. So she made some bullshit, claim, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, no, she totally saw it. No. What was her name?
Connie Carpenter.
Screw you, Connie Carpenter. You're a liar.
She was 18 years old.
You're a lying little son of a something. Lady.
All right. And then more sighting. Again, just Virginia, not even West Virginia. Arlington, he's migrating, evidently. Arlington, Virginia, 1969. 3 friends and their dog spot Mothman near a lakeside farm. Frightened by the creature, the dogs turn their tail and run immediately, but it takes the men a few minutes before they realize what they're looking at, and when they finally saw the wings and the orange glowing eyes, they fucking followed the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would follow the dogs, too.
So he was spotted in Virginia, so he's moving.
But quite frankly, if my dogs just ran away from something, I would immediately start. I don't care.
Dog know better.
I don't need to see what it is. I don't need to figure it out.
And then finally, and we talked about this one's probably the hoax, 2016, just last year, for an ABC news channel. Well, it's an owned channel. It's a localized.
It was
WCHTV. Yeah. In West Virginia. Mm-hmm. Published photos taken by an anonymous man that showed the Mothman.
This is on Route 2, a state highway in Virginia.
Yes. Pictures were quickly dismissed by science writer Sharon Hill, saying that the pictures were likely of a bird, perhaps an owl, carrying a frog or a snake.
So I'll dismiss the pictures because I think they're photoshopped.
Yeah.
But the pictures that I saw,
they look pretty Mothman.
It doesn't look like a bird carrying anything.
Anything, yeah.
It just looks like it has legs. It has human legs. How is that a bird? This whole thing, but okay.
We do, I think, because I told you about this last night on the phone, and I'm sure you looked it up as well. Because the reason why I am so skeptical of it is because it was 2016, 50 years exactly from the original sighting.
Huh.
It wasn't exactly to the date, but
close enough.
Because the festival happens every fucking year. They have a festival.
Oh, can we go to that festival?
They have if you guys want some crazy fun times, go to fucking Point Place, West Virginia. They've got a Mothman museum, a Mothman diner, a Mothman statue, Mothman memorabilia, and I think they have a little festival every year to celebrate Mothman.
I want to go.
Let's
all go together. Email us.
So those are the sightings that I got down, and then I do a few more, but that's more about Mothman around the world,
Yeah.
That was mostly the West Virginia sightings. Anything you found interesting?
I have the ones from around the world.
Okay, right.
But no, you pretty much got it. So there's I think I was talking to you about this earlier.
Sure.
There's this. How many numbers is it? Okay, it's like the 5 stages of a disaster, right?
Oh, tell me about this. Yes.
Paranormal wise. So number 1 is you see abnormally large creatures.
Abnormally large. Good.
That seem really threatening, but don't actually harm anyone. So they they appear and disappear, and they're just kind of around, and they're messing with you, and it's terrifying. And then number 2 is the lights. So around the time of the Mothman appearance, multicolored light orbs began to appear.
UFOs.
And people claimed to be able to communicate with them. And they seemed kind of playful, like you would, like...
They're will-o-wisps?
I know. That's what I was thinking.
Are they fairy lights? What's going on?
It was like, you would do like a pattern with your flashlight, and it would copy the pattern, and like, you would... It would like match your vocal pitch. It was it was a really weird...
Can I have one?
Can I have one too?
I want one of those.
I want a will-o-wisp. Will-o-wisp. Okay, and then number 3, of course, is UFOs.
Yes.
So UFOs in varying shapes and sizes were appearing all over the town, hovering over homes. John Keel, the author of the
Mothman Prophecies,
attests to seeing like
all sorts of crazy shit.
All sorts of UFOs and all sorts of other crazy stuff. And then 4 is the animal mutilations.
Did those happen with Mothman?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't pick up on any of that. Except for the dog.
The dog, that dog disappeared, but they did find other dogs that were like mutilated, and cattle was disappearing, and they were found mutilated on like the so they would find mutilated cows in places that they had already searched. So like they would go search this place, and then they'd be like, well, we can't find anything. They just kind of, and they'd come back, and mutilated cows would be there. And the weird thing about these mutilations is that they're always described as being like surgically precise.
They were dissecting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that happens a lot with UFO sightings in general.
Yeah.
Not just the Mothman, but which is why I think he's probably an alien, or at least some sort of alien creature. Here's the thing. Hundreds of years ago, if cow mutilations, disappearances, strange creatures, you blame it on the demons. Because we didn't have alien ideas yet.
Nope.
Ever since the 1950s and 40s, we've gone from demons to aliens. I think they're interchangeable. If demons were to exist, I think they were aliens.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or... I'm always sticking to interdimensional beings.
Interdimensional. Well, I mean, I classify that as alien because it is alien to our dimension.
When I think alien, I think
space.
Outer space. When I think interdimensional,
not the void of dimensions.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And then 5 is dreams and premonitions,
which we saw in the movie.
Yes,
sort of, kind of.
But John Keel actually does. Had said that the people in Point Pleasant experienced precognizance, which included premonitions of the Silver Bridge collapse.
And we will get to the Silver Bridge collapse.
Yes.
Probably right after, unless you're...
No, that's pretty much it.
So they could predict the fate of the Silver Bridge in Point Pleasant. Now, we should get into the Silver Bridge.
We should.
Now, you have more notes, I believe, because you went deep lore into the Silver Bridge.
I did.
But as a general thing, and you can fill in the blanks for me, the Silver Bridge incident was on the 15th of December, 1967. The Silver Bridge in Point Pleasant completely collapsed, killing 46 people. People claimed that people connected this to the Mothman in sightings because he was spotted frequently in the year leading up to the event, and once it collapsed, he completely vanished. The sightings just stopped happening. So that's why a lot of people think he might be an omen. I have written here, Mothman could just be an innocent, fuzzy friend.
He could. He could just be like, hey guys! Dudes! Something bad's gonna happen. Watch out, be careful, guys!
It's gonna collapse! If that's how we sounded, instead, like, because I'm just imagining hunky ripped Monkman, hunky ripped Mothman, with his cheese grater abs. Sorry, that's the most annoying voice to possibly hear in your ear. But tell us about the details of the Silver Bridge collapse.
So the collapse of the Silver Bridge was, they said it was caused by a dysfunctional eye-bar in the suspension chain. And
is that letter I or EYE?
EYE.
Okay.
And an eye-bar it's a straight bar with a hole, or eye, on each end to allow it to be fixed to other components.
Oh, okay. Right. So it's like a linking component.
And, it's a linking component. So that one eye bar broke, and the whole GD bridge collapses.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. I know that seems ridiculous.
It does seem ridiculous.
But bridges are a complicated thing. To hold that much weight, the whole bridge has to work unanimously. And if one part breaks down, everything else loses its tension, suspension, and just crumbles.
So, because it was the 60s, I'll give them that. And I don't know when the bridge was built. That'd be an interesting fact to have. But
should have looked that up.
I know.
Didn't.
I don't know when the bridge was built, and I don't know how advanced our bridges are now, our more recent bridges. But I feel as though there should be some sort of fail-safe. If there's some... And it should have been like a maintenance thing. You should be looking at the bridge. Oh, this thing seems like it's going to fall out. Maybe we should close the bridge for a while. We'll find an alternate route for you guys to go on. And we'll fix the bridge so that, 46 of you don't die because we're irresponsible.
The movie got that wrong.
The movie got that totally wrong.
They said 36.
They said 36.
It's 10 off.
And they were like, Laura Linney's 37. But Richard Gere saved Laura Linney, so it's 36 now. Mothman was wrong. Mothman, who is Indrid Cold.
Which doesn't make sense.
Which is not...
God,
what?
I can't wait. I can't wait for this.
I have 4 pages on Indrid Cold. Because he is a scary wolf.
So this creature appears and seems to warn people of impending disasters like the Silver Bridge, and also evidently appears around the world. Now I think we got pretty much the same notes.
Yeah.
First one I have is the Chernobyl incident. Now I know what you're gonna say because I have that written down here too. But the idea was that
so I'll do that part then.
In Chernobyl, on the 26th of April, 1986, the Soviet Union became the most famous nuclear plant disaster in the world because it completely melted down. And
during a routine systems check.
Yeah, so it should have been fine, and it wasn't, and it completely exploded. And now that place is still, you can't go there.
A light went on in Chernobyl recently. Did you see that?
What?
Yeah, a light went on in Chernobyl.
Why?
It was the first light that's been on since 1986.
Why? What's the light mean?
Mothman!
Okay.
I guess.
Some of the workers and locals in the area reported seeing the Mothman, even in their nightmares, in premonitions, though many in the Soviet Union called it the Blackbird of Chernobyl.
They also said that they were constantly and incessantly harassed by threatening phone calls.
Right,
by Men in Black and Indrid Cold.
Maybe? Did he go on a Russian holiday?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, God, stay away from me. But, of course, there's a lot of skepticism that comes with this one.
Oh, there is a lot of skepticism.
Did you get the quote from Lauren Coleman?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
She's an author, I believe, correct?
I looked it up.
Is it Lauren or Lauren?
Lauren. I'm going to Google it. I'm going to make sure I got this right, because I think he's he, in fact. It's one of those things, like Leslie. Yeah.
I've never heard the Lauren for a man.
I realized this a lot. Lauren Coleman is an American cryptozoologist who has written over 40 books on a number of topics, including cryptozoology. And that is evidently him.
Are they comparing him to Bigfoot?
I think he's talking about Bigfoot.
Oh.
There is a picture, the first picture that pops up when you Google Lauren Coleman is just him standing next to a...
to a similarly bearded Sasquatch type creature.
Paul!
Your father is a great ranger.
If you guys haven't... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll edit that. If you guys haven't seen the new Mystery Science Theater 3000, The Return...
You don't have to watch any of them except
just
for
watch
Cry
Wilderness. That's the best one.
That's the best one.
Second episode, I think. Yeah.
Bang!
Bang!
Why is the bobcat the only thing out of focus?
How is that's a cryptid right there. The bobcat that can't ever be in focus on camera. And I'll actually get to Lauren Coleman because he is the one who came up with the hit list for Mothman. Yeah.
Really?
So tell me what he said about Chernobyl.
Author Lauren Coleman.
Go ahead.
Believes that the Chernobyl sightings were entirely fabricated because of the 2002 movie Mothman Prophecies.
Mothman Prophecies, yeah.
Because they talked about how the other sightings of Mothman were in Chernobyl, but before that there was no evidence or no one ever said anything about it.
So the movie noted that.
Mm-hmm. And then other people just kind of made that into a theory, you know.
Okay. Which makes me think, how many Russians watched the Mothman Prophecies?
I don't think that it was so much the Russians who were saying this. I think that it's just people in general who are saying, "Oh, Mothman, bad place, Chernobyl."
I like to believe, how like a lot of times you'll find movies that only Canadians really like, but it's not that great, but it's like a cult classic in Canada.
Like anything with David Hasselhoff in Germany?
In Germany, yeah. So I want to have the image that the Mothman Prophecies did really, really well in Russia for some reason.
That was an awful movie.
That was a bad movie.
It was a really bad movie.
It wasn't god awful. It was just boring.
It was
boring, and it didn't make sense.
It was 2 hours of getting the story wrong.
Yeah, it really, because we did the research.
Yeah,
and it's not good. Yeah, I think I have a sort of a direct quote here. Lauren Coleman says the Chernobyl story, the Galveston Hurricane Mothman tie-in, and other examples given in the 2002 movie were pure fiction. Right after the movie was released, various websites posted the Chernobyl Mothman reports as factual, but there was not one thread of evidence that any winged weirdies were witnessed before the Chernobyl accident. It is a bit of movie fiction that has, unfortunately, moved into pseudo-factual cryptozoology, which is hilarious because we're not entirely certain that cryptozoology is a legitimate thing.
It's a pseudoscience.
It's a pseudoscience. So it's a pseudo-factoid and a pseudoscience.
Does that cancel each other out? Do two negatives
make a positive? So was he there?
I guess.
No. So that was Chernobyl. That was sort of a big one.
I mean, Chernobyl itself, yes, was a big thing that happened, but I don't know. I believe Lauren on that one.
Lauren, I think he's got his shit together. I mean, he looks like Bigfoot. I'm so sorry. He's not listening to this show. He's 60-something.
Yeah, no, he's not going to listen to us.
We're amateurs.
What else we got?
9/11.
Yeah, 9/11.
Everyone's favorite national tragedy. So, actually, I actually did write this down, like a 9/11, because of course he was there. The largest disaster and only act of war on U.S. soil since Pearl Harbor. Again, large black crane-like figure.
Mm-hmm. And, so people said that they were seeing him in the vicinity of the towers 5 days before the attacks. And Mothman was also reported being seen on the day of the attack, and some claiming they could see his face in the clouds.
Are you sure they didn't just see the plane?
No, it was a face. Okay. You didn't look up the picture?
I didn't. Should I?
Yeah, you should look it up. A lot of people say it's the devil.
Oh, it's a Satan face? Oh, that's spooky. People think that has something to do with the Mothman?
I guess.
Huh.
That's what some people say.
So Mothman could have been trying to warn us about a national tragedy.
But then why would he appear in the smoke? Because it already happened.
Yeah, that's a weird one. He's never done that before or since. In all the other sightings.
Or maybe he was like, this was an inside job.
He was trying to warn us. Trying to tell us the truth. Mothman, the truth is out there. And then the I-35 West bridge collapse.
Yep.
13 dead, 145 injured.
Mm-hmm. That was in August 1st, 2007.
And then the swine flu outbreak.
Wait, how many did you say were injured?
I got 145.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And then the swine flu outbreak in Mexico. That was a creepy one.
That was a creepy one. That actually took me a little while to get through.
Okay, so you look like you have more notes than I do.
Yeah.
In La Junta?
Who is this boy? Alien? Demon?
Who is this boy? Actually, I take notes to make me laugh. So.
How do you say that? I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry. I know that's Chihuahua. But
I know Chihuahua, but that's about it. I thought it was La Junta.
La Junta?
It's LAJUNTA. So I think it's La Junta.
Okay.
But
So,
or La Junta. La Junta, I don't speak Spanish. I
don't
took
speak
2 years of high school Spanish. I don't remember a fucking word.
I don't either.
So, sorry. But, yes.
But, okay, so this was on April 10th of 2009.
Yes.
So, almost relatively recent.
Pretty close. Within the last 10 years.
Residents of La Junta in the Mexican state of Chihuahua began noticing a bizarre creature. So it was described as being very tall and hairy, with expansive wings and wide bloodshot eyes. So that kind of varies from the normal Mothman, because Mothman's eyes are just red, not human eyes that are bloodshot. That could have just been a dude wearing fake wings.
A ghillie suit.
So a young student, who chose to remain anonymous during his interview, stated that the creature chased him relentlessly for almost 15 minutes.
That's terrifying.
That's terrifying. What I'd like to know was, did he chase the boy on foot
or from the air?
From the air. Without flapping his GD wings. God, I hate that woman.
He's like a plane. What if Mothman was a robot?
Robot Mothman.
Yeah. I think he described it as like 15 minutes of maximum despair.
Yeah.
That's a fucking sentence.
There were 2 other witnesses.
Yeah.
Angela Mendez and Viviana Ledesma, that claimed to have heard the creature near Monaca Cemetery. Right. I'm going to point out that you could have heard anything.
Sure.
What do you mean you heard Mothman?
What does Mothman sound like? Does he?
Hey. No, yeah, that doesn't. The
swine flu is coming. You should leave.
So these 2 girls.
Sure.
I love the name Vivica. What was her name? Viviana.
I love the name. I can't remember.
I know, but I do like that name, Viviana. I think that's a very pretty name.
Right.
Yells is liars too. What was that other girl's name?
I don't know. You wrote it down.
No, you wrote the girl's name. The other girl, who was also a liar. Claire.
Kate. Connie Carpenter. Ugh. Connie Carpenter.
So Connie, Angela, and Viviana, all 3 of you, I think, are just publicity horses.
You're hopping on the bandwagon.
I mean, at least Connie's got a little creative. I mean, they're just like, we heard a scary thing. Yeah, but like,
you're in a graveyard.
You hear stuff. That's what ears are there for. You just hear stuff. That's what happens. You can't attribute it to hearing a creature I didn't see. It was probably a cat. Like, calm down. Or a chihuahua.
In Chihuahua. So I guess the theory is that, he was there just before a large outbreak of swine flu.
Yeah. But there was a large outbreak of swine flu, but there were only 2 deaths that were lab tested to be caused by swine flu.
Oh, okay. Well, what the hell?
There was 398 in all of Mexico.
Why is that on this list?
But like, when you read things about the Mothman, there's always mass deaths, right?
Yes.
It's never like...
At least a few dozen.
Yeah. It's never just like, oh, Mothman showed up when, died of...
Someone had a heart attack. Mothman.
Like, Mothman shows up like 3 days.
When we get to my hit list, God.
I don't know. I just think that's weird, and I don't really buy that one.
Yeah, I can see why that will be an issue.
Like, if they saw him all over Mexico, then I would be like, okay, that seems like something different, because that was 398 lab confirmed cases of death by swine flu. But by swine flu. But 2 doesn't seem to hold up to me. I think this is another little town like the way Point Pleasant is doing now.
Yeah.
Trying to bring in like, oh, we got Mothman.
Well, I mean, they're more, because the sort of the de facto Mexican cryptid is El Chupacabra.
Yeah.
And maybe it was just a cousin of El Chupacabra.
What does a Chupacabra look like?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll get to that episode, I'm sure.
Ooh.
El Chupacabra.
Chupacabras.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
I'm just saying it like a white person.
Chupacabras?
Chupacabras.
Chupacabra?
Chupacabras.
El chucalalababra.
Gracias.
So, the next thing I have on this list is Injured Cult. Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about Injured Cult?
I really want to talk about Injured Cult.
We actually have we've been going for quite a while.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
Might even have a longer episode. Wow.
Ooh. So, I mean, I have quite a bit
Oh, God.
on Indrid Cole.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the story?
Which story?
The Derenberger story.
Sure, but I would like to talk a little bit about Indrid Cole in general first.
In general?
Indrid Cold, also known as the Grinning Man.
Which is so creepy.
And though it is theorized he is connected in some way to the Mothman, is not Mothman himself.
Movie
is not. He is not Mothman. He's not Mothman. He's not Mothman. He's human-like. So I mean,
he was human,
almost identical to a human
as best as he could.
Didn't
get the smile quite right.
Oh, it's so creepy. He's commonly associated with UFO sightings, and a lot of people believe that he is an alien or a man in black.
Yes.
A MIB.
A MIB?
Who also also might be aliens and I don't.
Men in Black they're either government agents or aliens that are trying to, they're in the business of cover-ups.
Yeah. They're a very scary bunch. So, on Wednesday, November 2nd...
They're not as funny as the movie.
What?
They're not as funny as the movie, Men in Black.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, they're scary.
They're terrifying, yeah. Go on.
Who was the other man in black that wasn't Will Smith? Was that Tommy?
That was Tommy Lee Jones,
That was Tommy Lee
yeah.
Jones.
From
We just watched
Double
Double
Jeopardy.
Mango. Mango, what the hell are you talking about?
We can't make jokes that people won't understand.
I don't like boats. They remind me of murder. Okay.
We'll just get into the riff business, I guess.
So on Wednesday, November 2nd of 1966, I think it was. Do you have that date? Or
1966, 2nd November, yes.
Okay. At about 7:30 p.m., Woodrow Derenberger.
Derenberger.
I just say Dern.
Derenberger.
Dern. D-E-R-N.
Woodrow.
Is it D-E-R-N?
I got D-E-R-E-N. Burger.
I was crazy person writing.
Okay.
So I might have just
you were getting deep into the lore. Yeah.
I was like, I gotta get it all out before I get killed. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, Woodrow Derenberger was driving on Route 77 in Parksbury, West Virginia, when he spotted a cigar-shaped craft traveling beside his truck before it sped ahead and blocked the road, forcing Derenberger to pull over to the side of the road, while the craft stayed in the middle of the road.
Yes, to
hovering,
block him. Yes.
About a foot off the ground. The craft then opened. Out stepped a very strange creature.
Indrid Cold. Our good friend.
Yeah, God, I don't like that guy.
With a sickening, twisted grin.
Oh! The ship ascended then 50 feet after Indrid stepped out.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite bits. He steps out. It's like they're trying to figure out how cars do.
How do cars do?
But they're so advanced, they're just like, you can only travel on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We travel in all 3 dimensions. Isn't that what your car does? Doesn't it get in the way? Car, go upside, go over there.
The being, well, I'll just say Indrid because we know it's Indrid.
Indrid, yeah.
Indrid,
the grinning man.
Approached Derenberger's car, and he described Indrid as being like a regular looking guy.
Yeah, just with a creepy grin.
But like, I think if he didn't see the dude step out of a spaceship, I would think that he would just be like, oh, there's this guy, he's being nice, that's why he's smiling at me.
Do you think Indrid Cold is just like the worst Men in Black?
He's the worst Man in Black.
Like, I've arrived.
You're not fooling anyone, Indrid.
This is how humans do with their glowing vehicles and their hovercraft.
So, he's 6 feet tall.
Right.
With an olive complexion, much like yours.
Oh, thank you.
And dark brown hair. However, he didn't actually speak.
He speaks through telepathy.
Yes, he does.
Into your mind.
With a creepy-ass smile fixed on that mouth. It never moved. He just spoke into your head without his lips. That terrifies me. Oh God, stop. Oh my God, I'm never doing anything with you again. You look like you're gonna kill me. That was terrifying. My heart is beating 1,000,000 miles an hour right now.
It turns out I am Injured Cold.
You are
and I am the Mothman.
I have chills.
It's chilling. It really is.
Well, no, it's your face.
I'm chilling. My face.
The being. I keep saying the being because that's how I have it written down.
Yeah, no.
But it's just Indrid.
Good old Mr. Cole.
Indrid told Dernberger to roll down. Like, this is quoted. Dernberger reported this. This was
what he says.
This is what he says.
Yes.
Roll down your window. I want to talk to you.
Through his mind, though.
Roll down your window.
Again, this is what makes me think he's not very good at his job.
Yeah.
Because he can speak through his mind telepathically into this man, and he's still going like, roll down your window so we may have a conversation. Are you bad at this?
I'm just going to continue to talk into your head, but
it's
roll down your
easier
window.
if the glass isn't in the way.
He then goes on to say, my name is Indrid Cold, and I mean you no harm. Dernberger then describes the conversation as being courteous and friendly, and lasting about 10 minutes. Huh. Cole then told him, we eat, we breathe, we sleep, we bleed, even as you do. And before returning to his ship, he said, we will see you again.
And then he got back in his spaceship.
And flew away. Dernberger actually later reported this event to the police. And Cold, of course, would keep to his word because he's a gentleman and a scholar after all.
He's our good old buddy.
Creepy
friend.
I don't know. And over the course of the following month, Dernberger claimed that he was visited by Cold many, many times. So often, in fact, that Dernberger's wife and children stated that they too encountered Cole and other strange beings.
More memes?
Mm-hmm. In fact, the wife, I'm pretty sure she was the one who claimed that there was poltergeist in her house after after the first time Cold showed up at the doorstep, which he did often.
Yeah.
The first time he did
3
that,
a.m.
right? Weird stuff started happening in the house. He brought with him some sort of poltergeist.
This is my friend Joseph.
He's
been
going to
dead
break all your
for
dishes.
20 years. Can he room here? He doesn't have a place to stay.
Is that how he says?
I like to think he has a very creepy, he doesn't know how human speaks, so his speech pattern is very off.
Isn't it it's supposedly electronic-y?
Yeah, because it was. I imagine speaking telepathically, if it were to impact an audio thing, it probably would be a bit, because you're speaking through brainwave patterns. Yeah. You're speaking through electro patterns, electric audio. So that's the thing, though. If you speak telepathically, you don't. If you're having a conversation, you don't hear telepathy.
No,
you interpret telepathy. Yes. You just oh, I know what he wants because he's told me. But if he's using telepathy to imprint on the brain an audio response, that would, because that's how the brain does. You hear something in your ear and your brain goes, this is sound. I know what this is. If that's what he's doing, and just imprinting a thought that would be reflected in the brain as a noise, as a voice, I could imagine it being very electric-y. He has a built-in auto-tune.
And actually, they said that, he would send very abrupt telepathic messages. What's his first name? Because I'm so sick of saying Dernberger. Woodrow. That would leave him with absolutely miserable migraines.
Yeah, we're not built for that.
No.
We're not built for it. Our brains don't do that.
And Woodrow's wife is losing her GD mind at this point. She is losing it, and she's
tired of your friend Indrid keep showing up around here.
They described the interview.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious to me because I'm an awful person.
Okay, sure.
That she was sitting there trembling, totally losing her mind, talking about how they look just like us, but they're not human. So they look just like us.
So she went ballistic then.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
The whole family even says that this dude went missing. Woodrow went missing for 6 months.
We were going on a fishing trip. In my space car.
Oh my god. He disappeared for 6 months, and the family's just well, what are we going to do now? And Woodrow comes back, he's I was with Cold.
It was a road trip, just the boys. Just me and Woodrow.
And then...
I need a companion. John left me.
And then the family also said they would receive unknown phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a word.
What is it?
What?
Spellemons. Spamelons? Spamelons.
Sometimes the calls would be threats of violence or death unless they stopped talking about their experiences.
No.
Other times it would be...
Not so friendly,
like,
Indrid.
There would be like... I think that's just maybe Men in Black in general, because...
Oh, okay. Do you think Indrid's like, I just wanted a friend?
No, poor Indrid. He's terrifying.
I love him. I'm actually in love with Indrid Cold right now.
Other times, they would get calls that would just be electronic noises. It would just be like, bloop, 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 bloop.
What if that was like code? Well, maybe that's how they sound normally. And it's like, oh, wait, right, English, sorry.
Telepathy.
Oh, I got
my
telepathy.
voice doesn't work on the phone.
I have to actually use my mouth. It's been so long.
Okay.
Indrid's my new best friend.
I know. Like, the more I talk about him, the less terrifying he is. But if I think about him, then it's
if we ever write a movie about the Mothman, Indrid is going to be one of the main characters.
Oh, yeah. Well, because he was one of the main characters in John Keel's story.
Yeah.
He was around all the time.
Is the Mothman Prophecies fiction based on fact? I don't actually know.
The movie?
No, the book. Is it just an account of things that happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an account.
All right.
And then other times they would get phone calls that were just it was just silence.
Oh.
Just dead silence. And then...
These phones are magnificent. How do they work?
Like a fax machine. So, Dernberger also claims that he saw two men in black suits, armed, hiding in the woods outside of his house.
Right.
And when Cold approached, he came in his car, a black car, not a spaceship.
He's getting better. He's getting better.
He approached. He walked into the house. He had his business, and then he walked out. And the men in black, which what we believe them to be, the people that were hiding in the trees, had no idea that this guy was the alien, because he just looked like a strange,
good
but
old
a person.
friendly man.
Yeah, just like a person.
I always pictured him in a black suit. I don't know if they ever describe Indrid in a black suit.
No, not in a black suit. It's like some sort of reflective blue or green.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I like to... Oh, God. Now I'm just picturing him in, like a tailor... Well, not even a tailor. I like to think it's like a misfit suit.
It's just slightly too big, and other parts are too short.
Yeah,
too
but it's made of, like, a reflective, like, blue material. And he's like, this is human fashion. I love him. I actually love this character, absolutely now. This is humans. Indrid, you can't wear your fucking shiny blue suit anymore, man. So is that... Do you have more? Or is that your Indrid Cold story?
That's what I got on him.
I love him. I'm actually in love with this character.
He honestly, like... I don't understand what exactly he has to do with Mothman.
He was there before.
He's
just connected to it because he was another weird thing that happened to show up in Point Pleasant at the time.
Yeah, people
Maybe
actually
he was looking for the Mothman.
That Point Pleasant was
like an alien rendezvous point?
Or a thing...
We hold a convention here every year.
A portal to an alternate realm.
Oh, so it's like the Cardiff Rift from Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, newspapers all over the world, and in Japan and London and everywhere, were publishing stories in their newspapers about this little tiny town in the middle of, like, West Virginia.
Yep. Well, on the outskirts of West Virginia.
Yeah. That's crazy. This town became so famous for something that no one could actually prove happened.
No, it's great.
That's crazy.
I love it.
A bridge collapsed and people were like, oh my god, something bad happened. Or we lost so many citizens, so much money from the taxes, no more. How are we going to get this back?
Wait, what?
The bridge collapsed.
Yes.
We lost many citizens. This
Sure.
is a small town. Not that many people live there in general. What if all of this was made up so that they can get tourists in and get some more of that money back that they're not getting paid in taxes by the 46 people that died there? I just think the worst of people.
You do, a little bit. But it's good to have a theory, you know?
Mm-hmm. It was also the greatest... at the time, it was the greatest single civilian tragedy in the U.S. prior to 9/11.
It was also the largest bridge-related catastrophe.
That's not what the movies would have you believe. Every movie, the Golden Gate Bridge is falling down.
And not even 5,000 people live there. So, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the Mothman hit list?
Ooh! One more thing really quick.
Okay.
Accounts of a similar creature were also reported in Vietnam in the 60s.
Really?
And numerous sightings in Texas throughout all of time.
Texas?
I lived in Texas, and I saw some pretty weird stuff, but I saw no Mothman.
What other weird stuff did you see in Texas?
Bigfoot? No, just weird people.
Bigfoot?
Like crack houses.
Oh, okay. That's normal.
Yeah.
That's not a paranormal investigation.
It's still strange.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, and I almost got struck by lightning. That was fun.
Damn. Are your ears bleeding?
No. It was very close. It landed right in front of me. I'm like, okay, I'm getting out of the rain now.
Like, how far in front of you?
Like, it was like a few yards.
Okay.
It wasn't, like, directly in front of me.
You would have felt the heat and your ears would be bleeding.
No.
Your eyes would be like... You get the Mothman eyes.
It was close enough to me to where I freaked the deuce out.
Right.
But not close enough to me to where I could have died.
Oh, good.
So... There's also a mansion in Point Pleasant that belonged to a jeweler at the turn of the century that contains a 7-foot-tall Mothman statue.
Oh.
That's actually believed to be the first statue ever built of Mothman before anything like this happened.
Yeah, this was long before Silver Bridge
incidents. I don't know.
Maybe he's got a little cult. Maybe Mothman's got a little cult. Maybe Point Pleasant is just a cult. Maybe they worship the Mothman. Maybe Mothman's always been there.
Ooh.
Maybe the people that are spotting them, they're trying to hush them up because that's just how Point Pleasant stays on the map. Because the only way they can survive, maybe like good harvests and everyone lives a really long time because the Mothman keeps them alive.
That actually might be true because I was reading that like there were known satanic rituals and witchcraft cults
they summoned
in
Mothman.
the town. But it's like, what do you mean known satanic rituals happening? If you knew satanic rituals were happening, why weren't you putting a stop to it? Why are you just allowing like all these cattle to get torn to shreds because?
That's my cow noise.
Like it doesn't make any it doesn't line up.
No,
that lines up. That lines up more than anything else. Everything's an inside
What if
job.
crop circles that people think aliens leave are actually in fact just demon summoning sigils? Yeah. Ooh.
But there have been winged entities and messengers throughout history.
Oh, of course.
Many different cultures and religions.
That's why people were like, oh, he's an angel or a demon or something.
I don't think angels look like that. I wouldn't think. Like a Mothman?
Well, angels also, you wouldn't think to look like two interlocking wheels with eyes on them. Or
what?
Beings with 6 wings and 4 faces.
You see, I think that I don't believe in angels personally.
Or a man with multiple wings and multiple faces and swords coming from their throats.
I picture him more as Fart from Rick and Morty.
Fart.
If I were to picture an angel, like it would just be like an orb of some sort.
My name is Fart. I like this name.
Our worlds can be one
together.
Cosmos without hatred. Stars like
diamonds in your
eyes.
All the Mothman want things their way.
Goodbye,
Mothman. So, Mothman hit list. Mothman hit list. Let's
go.
Now, I'm going to say this right off the bat. A lot of this feels like a stretch. This is a list compiled by, as we mentioned before, Lauren Coleman, the guy who had his beef with the Chernobyl theory of Mothman. So some of these are a bit weirdly loosely connected. I did my best to compile a few of them. Now the list listed 80-something people, including the 46 deaths at the Silver Bridge. It first lists all those, like the 46 people that were died and like the 2 that were missing. In total 46. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the list, like another 40 people, another 40 entries, all relating to like people who were there, people who witnessed Mothman, people who witnessed people who were witnessing Mothman, related to John Keel, working on different... So, some of them get kind of weird.
They're just going to wipe out that whole town?
Let's see. According to Lauren Coleman, previously mentioned, blah, 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 Mothman connected to 80-plus deaths related to the Silver Bridge disaster. 13 months... this is a weird one. The first one's a really weird one. Okay. 13 months after the munitions plant sighting, Silver Bridge collapses. 13 months, right? Mm-hmm. 26 months, 13 times 2 months later, Mary Heyer dies of a 4-week illness. Heyer was a close friend of John Keel, author of the Mothman Prophecies. Mm-hmm. Step 1. Ivan Sanderson, main consultant to Keel on matters in natural history relating to Mothman, dies of rapid cancer. Fred Freed, documentary maker, another associate of Keel who dies in March 1974, months after beginning regular meetings with Keel while working on a documentary focused on the Mothman and other phenomena in the region. The documentary was never produced, died of a heart attack, age 53. Gary Barker, author, another writer in paranormal encrypted books regarding Men in Black and other seen UFO sightings and abductions. While researching Mothman, he found a note on his door reading in poor grammar, "Abandon your research or you will be regret. You have been warned." Died of various illnesses, possibly age 59. Known contact of Keel and the other investigators, and had worked with Keel interviewing Woodrow Derenberger.
Indrid, did you kill Gary? The
main contact of the mysterious injured cold. D. Scott Rogo, found dead by stabbing in Northridge, California. Home was not ransacked and largely untouched. He had been working on theories about the Mothman. Don North, spotted Mothman near Mountain Munitions Plant in Point Pleasant in the 90s, died of car crash in 97. Jim Keith died during a routine knee surgery, had been working on MIB connection to the Point Pleasant and the Mothman, and had also been an advocate for a theory that Point Pleasant had been used as a government test tube, essentially, for experiments and things. It was a center. They happened there because it was a test site to see how people would react to different...
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then Gene Adrusko, musician and actor who had been handled audio production on a Mothman independent film, not the Mothman Prophecies, 1997, which was being filmed in Orange County, California, not far from here, and on location in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
You don't want to tell people where we are.
I just said we're near there. Jeez. Adrusko was found dead in his production studio in Huntington Beach, California, apparently of a heart attack or brain aneurysm. The film was only shown with a sneak preview at Comic-Con 1999, but never released, and the director, Douglas Tenneple, refuses to discuss the movie or its production. And the list goes on.
That's probably a smart idea. So, that's crazy.
I love this list. It's a lot of it, I can easily say, that's a bit of a stretch, but the connections are really creepy.
They are.
And I really like it.
But then here's the question. So when John Keel died, somewhat recently.
John Alva Keel, born Alpha John Keel, spelled differently. American journalist and influential UFO. So that's him. Died July 3rd, 2009 in New York City.
Okay, so he died in 2009, so that's relatively recent.
Relatively recent. Same year as that.
Why would they kill everyone but him?
That's why this is weird. Because also what kind of strikes me is the first 5 or 6, they all knew Keel. They all had worked with Keel.
I mean, that's strange.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you really wanted it to stop, if you really wanted all of this Mothman stuff to just go away.
Sure.
You would have killed Keel first.
Immediately.
Because
he was the expert.
He was the expert. He was the one who was going to compile all of this
into a book, which he did.
Into a movie, and give the rights of the book to the person to go after would have been
John Keel. Yeah.
So
why? Yeah. So that's the weird part. Also, they're all just. It's easy to go it's just coincidence. People die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is also kind of weird.
I do want to believe the weirdness.
Okay, so the first few things on the list that you said, I was like, yeah, okay, people die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, But the more it
kind of goes on
into it, it's like, okay, wait. How come every single person who... But it's not just people that he knows.
It's people, any research into the Mothman at all.
It's anyone who has any sort of information on the Mothman, who's looking into it in any way.
So this podcast is the last episode of the Foil Hat Broadcast.
Oh my goodness.
They're gonna get us.
I don't want to die. I'm
too
know
young. Leave me alone, Indrid.
Indrid, stop.
That, although that death list does conclude every note I have on this thing. So I guess it's time to come to our conclusion.
Oh,
Mothman, who is this boy?
Who is this boy?
Is he alien? Is he demon? Rare animal? Angel? Mutant?
Mutant?
I say alien, or extra-dimensional creature.
Me too.
And Indrid might be related, but he might just be... Here's the thing. We have people looking for the Mothman, because it's a weird thing on Earth. Indrid is probably also trying to figure out what the fuck a Mothman is doing here.
Or...
Because he doesn't belong on Earth.
Maybe. Yeah, because I'm going to go off of that he doesn't belong on Earth.
Cool.
Aliens come to these rifts in the dimension where the other dimension is pouring in. Things like Mothmen and these weird orb lights and all that kind of stuff. And poltergeist...
It's the Cardiff Rift from Doctor Who.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Indrid was sent here to find the rifts and try to close them.
Which is why he doesn't know how humans are.
Which is why he doesn't know how humans are, because he's not really there to interact with them. He's there to get as much information as he needs to close the rift, and he might have a friend that he took a liking to Woodrow.
I needed a place to stay. I can't sleep in my space car every night.
So maybe he's like, so maybe Indrid is up in the heavens right now,
right?
And he's like doing his scanning thing, whatever. Like, oh no, there's a rift in this place. Something bad's gonna happen. We gotta go there.
Right.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's the connection between Indrid and Mothman.
They're trying to contain the phenomena and prevent it from causing any more havoc than it needs to. Right.
And maybe the reason that all these people were dying that were researching into the Mothman was because they were trying to contain it into this one town, and the only people that were letting it spread was John Keel and the people associated with him.
They were going to spread it like wildfire.
Yeah.
And they didn't want that.
Nope. They wanted to keep it where it was.
Evidently, they didn't do a very good job.
No. Well, I mean, things slip through the cracks every now and then.
Humans are finicky bastards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's the thing. All the information
also,
on Chernobyl...
Indrid not very good at his job, if that's the case.
Well, but I mean, think of it this way.
Right.
All the things on Chernobyl, there's no, actual dead evidence.
Fair.
All the things on the other bridge, no actual, spot-on evidence. All the things in Mexico, no spot-on evidence.
But
there's no real evidence.
Pleasant, there's countless encounters and witnesses and testimonies and things.
Because of John Keel.
Because of John Keel.
If John Keel didn't... I feel like if John Keel wasn't there and he didn't write his book, that no one would really be talking about it except for the people there.
Yeah.
And then it would just be folklore. This small town, got a little uppity.
Spooky.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, we're going to base a whole thing on it.
It's just another Roswell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I'm kind of buying into...
I want to believe Mothman is out there. I want to believe that Indrid is out there.
I am almost... I feel it in my gut.
Yeah.
It's a dimensional rift, and that's where Mothman came from. That's where the orbs came from. And Indrid was sent to close the rift and put everything back. But rifts continue to open.
Yes.
And this is also how we get the Mandela effect. Sliding in and out.
Sliding in and out of the parallel universe.
Because we can't see it.
Bernstein,
we can't see a
Bernstein.
rift.
No, we don't have those kind of eyes.
No. Only Mothman and Indrid.
Yeah. That's what we got on Mothman. But hey.
I'm certain.
You think he's out there?
Oh, I absolutely believe that he is an interdimensional being.
So we need to go to Point Pleasant then.
Can we go to Point Pleasant?
Let's do it.
Can we go to Point Pleasant? I'm so excited!
If we one day we'll go on a road trip to all the weird places in the country. Right.
Yes.
We'll go to Roswell, we'll go to Point Pleasant, we'll go to
Bermuda.
I guess we'll go to Bermuda.
We'll go to Miami.
We'll go to
take a boat out there or something. Just get right on the edge and be like, okay,
we'll go to the Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts. where a bunch of other weird shit
Yeah,
happens.
you were telling me about
My grandmother lives on one of the points, so
Yeah.
I can go there.
That is awful.
She doesn't care. She doesn't even know it exists. No one does. I'm a nerd.
I
They're
wouldn't
not.
tell her.
Um,
I wouldn't want to know.
So, but hey, if you guys have ever encountered the Mothman, drop us a line at TheFoilHatBroadcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
That is every word capitalized. There will be a little link in the description. We would love to hear your theories, comments, and suggestions for future episodes.
And that is it for the Foil Hat Broadcast.
Yes. I'm bad at closers.
How are we closing this? Okay.
Well, we do our thing. We do the thing that we say every episode.
Yeah.
Which is, good night, ladies and gentlemen, and the NSA.
Go to bed, kids.